Hello everyone, I'm George from Ireland. So here I am in the Bo-Kaap area. You can see the mosque behind me, the Bo-Kaap area of Cape Town. So this is the Muslim area of Cape Town. Muslims are only about 2% of the population of South Africa. The concentrations are here in Cape Town and also in Durban. Durban's the center of the Indian community in South Africa. Only a minority of South African Indians are Muslim. There are also Cape Malays. The mosque I was just showing you was built in 1847. So with Jan van Riebeeck in 1652, the Dutch established control over the Cape of Good Hope. And really, it was just a staging post when the Dutch East India Company was sailing on to Indonesia as part of the spice trade to restock their ships with fruit and vegetables, live animals for meat and milk and so on. So it was a big vegetable garden for them. But anyway, they purchased some people who were held in slavery in the Far East, or indeed just kidnapped them, made them slaves, and brought them back here, calling them Malays, coming from what we nowadays call Malaysia and or Indonesia. And they were Muslims, almost without exception. And one of their religious leaders was held in prison on Robben Island off the coast of Cape Town, but he was a Hafiz, which is to say he'd memorized all 6,666 verses of the Holy Quran, and he was able to write it down. And indeed, eventually it was translated into Afrikaans. The Cape Malays stopped speaking Bahasa Malaysia, Bahasa Indonesia, or any of those languages, and began speaking Afrikaans. But they were mostly men who were brought here. They often married the local Khoisan women or Bantu women, and so this mixed race community began. The Cape Malay people are seldom of solely Malay ancestry, and so Bo-Kaap meaning above the Cape. So some of them held in servitude, some of them gained their freedom, some people even came here voluntarily. So it's a Muslim community, and they're painting them in all these different colours. And there are different theories as to why the houses are all colours. One was because the doctor painted his house blue so people could distinguish it. A lot of people couldn't read in those days, so that they just knew it was a blue house to go to. And then everyone started painting their house different colours, and they've agreed that no two adjacent houses will be the same colour. If one house is purple, the neighbouring house will not be purple. They could be purple a few doors down, but one immediately adjacent will not be that same colour. And so on. So it was a very multiracial area. Most people were mixed race here, but yeah, just very much the Muslim area. So halal food only in the restaurants, no alcohol served here. There is another theory that people got drunk and couldn't find their houses because they all were all the same colour, so in the different colours. They said, but wait a second, they were Muslims, so few of them would drink and so on. So that is the Bo-Kaap area, where there are all sorts of art galleries. And it's only like 10 minutes walk from the very centre of Cape Town. But of course, remember, Cape Town was very, very small to begin with. There's now a city of 500,000 people. But Jan van Riebeeck founded it with 90 people, 82 men and 8 women. And then obviously some of the Khoisan intermarried with the Dutch, or indeed were simply abducted by the Dutch and so on. So look, all these murals here. United Palestine. You see some of the Palestinian leaders chained up. And never think of those who have been killed in the cause of Allah as dead, rather alive with their Lord receiving provision, and so on. And then you'll have a lot of watermelon symbols. Okay, so you can take a free walking tour and just repay them with tips. You're working on a gratuity basis. It's got a Quranic quotation there. So, and that was Van der Meulen Street, after one of the early governors here sent by the Dutch East India Company, the Verenigde Oost-Indische Company, as in the United East India Company, the VOC. It actually went bust in 1799, but in one of those wars between France and the United Kingdom, the Netherlands was on the French side, and the British defeated the Dutch and seized the Cape of Good Hope in 1794. But and in 1814, those treaties ending the Napoleonic Wars, the King of the Netherlands, he recognised that this was now British territory. So that was it. So, and then the British went further and further into the interior. But in the apartheid era, they tried to separate the different races. District 6, not far from here, was bulldozed because it was multiracial. People had their houses taken away without compensation. Some of them got them back, at least the land back decades later. But for some reason, the apartheid authorities, they tolerated this area, the Bo-Kaap, maybe because they felt it was segregated by religion. So There are 10 mosques here in this fairly small area. So they say everybody knows everything in the Bo-Kaap, and only sort of 5 minutes up there it ends, and you get to the beginnings of Signal Hill, that Signal Hill up above, part of the Table Mountain National Park. So that is the Bo-Kaap area. There are various art galleries showing paintings, photographs and so on about the very distinctive cosmopolitan Bo-Kaap area. So there are a lot of people who are of mixed ethnicity, partly Malay, partly Bantu, partly Khoisan, partly white and so on. So the Cape Malay community or the Muslim community here would have overwhelmingly been Afrikaans speaking, but in the late 20th century switched over more into English. They're often bilingual. Right, anyway, thank you very much for watching my video, and make sure you subscribe on Patreon, donate on PayPal, georgecallahan79@gmail.com. Okay, goodbye everyone. Goodbye from the Bo-Kaap area of Kaapstad or Cape Town in the Republic of South Africa.